Hello, everyone. Welcome to SlamTube. I'm James Phoenix. He's Chris the Mole. Unfortunately, our host, Victor Hammer, could not be here this evening. He's off celebrating Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to him. And we're here to talk about Money in the Bank 2017.
Yep. And we open up with the women's Money in the Bank.
Indeed we do. Which wasn't expecting, but it did work to get the audience hyped up to get the really high energy start to the pay-per-view, which did work.
Or set a tone of what the pay-per-view was going to be of dusty finishes.
That too.
Also, weird as fuck when you think about it.
How so? Aside from the obvious.
What, you mean besides the first women's Money in the Bank and the person who pulls it down is a man?
Yeah, that's a little weird.
It's weird and kind of bullshit because it should have been a woman that pulled it down. Like, he could have done the distraction, done everything the same, but Kamala should have climbed up and pulled it down. It kind of cheapens the fact it was the first women's one.
A little bit, yeah.
Little bit, a lot. Like, how many male Money in the Banks have been won by females?
True.
Yep.
Yeah, but before the dusty finish, it was a good match.
It was.
Ladies demonstrated that they could hold their own in that kind of a matchup. A lot of great back and forth. The ladies, they all got their time to shine, so it worked out very well. And I did like the fact that it was Becky that James Ellsworth took off the ladder to instigate the dusty finish, because they had been building kind of a thing between them, so that kind of furthers their feud, so that worked.
Yep.
So that was good. So yes, Carmella wins the match with the assistance of James Ellsworth. So Carmella is Miss Money in the Bank.
Yep.
So,
which was like I said, the match was kind of good. It wasn't overly terrible. But the ending is one of the few times where the ending just kind of shits on it. A lot, because it's the first women's one, and yet it's a case of, yeah, not a woman who pulls it down.
Yeah, cheapened it a little bit.
Again, a lot.
Fair enough. So following that match, we had the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match of the New Day, represented by Big E and Kofi, versus the Usos.
Represented by Jimmy and Jay.
Duh.
Well, sorry, you felt the need to do that. To be fair, how most of the time it's New Day, it's always Kofi and Big E.
True, but just this past Tuesday on SmackDown, it was Kofi and Xavier, so.
Was it for a title?
No.
I rest my case. Most of the time it's been titles, it's been Big E and Kofi.
Okay.
With Xavier on the outside doing his bullshit with the trombone and stuff.
Yep. Which makes an interesting point. If the New Day ever met Jack Gallagher, do you think that Francesca III would get with William III?
No idea, but yeah, this match happened. It was a good quality matchup, to be fair.
Yep. Until the Usos decided, fuck it, we don't feel like competing anymore, and just got themselves counted out.
Yeah, which works for a heel.
Yeah, for a heel team, it makes sense. So.
And it gives an excuse to have the feud at the next pay-per-view.
Yep, they'll probably push it and have the New Day win the belt at SummerSlam, if anything.
Yep. But I honestly don't think they should.
Why's that?
Well, how long have the Usos waited to be champion? Now they got a gimmick that works for them. They've been exciting as hell. I mean, it's just let's just lull New Day wins.
See, I disagree. I think the Usos gimmick is terrible. I don't think it works for them at all.
See, I thought that's why that normally when they're coming out, they're getting the reaction they wanted, and they are heels and stuff with the Uso Asylum and stuff when they're doing it and they're holding it up and they're penitentiary and they're doing the whole thing. It's like you on lockdown. It's cool. They've made the Usos cool again. They're not doing the tribal stuff that they said from the very beginning they wouldn't do, and then went into. They're more like original Usos, and they're kind of cool.
Which is fair enough. I just think the gimmick. I don't know. I just don't like it. It doesn't feel like it fits the Usos. It feels like it's just making the Usos shit. Like it's just, oh, you're gonna come out, you're gonna cut a terrible fucking promo that doesn't get you over as heels to anybody. And you got this stupid, this T-shirt that makes no goddamn sense that nobody understands, and it's just a terrible gimmick. The Usos deserve so much better than that shitty fucking gimmick.
Except for their gimmicks, the same it was when they first debuted. If they're not having to wear the Samoan stuff, they're more like we're just going to beat people up, which they've been doing. Even their promos, whenever they do it, you'll notice you hear the crowd go boo instantly when they do the jokes that are meant to be insulting. I mean, come on, which is better, them telling them that this is their penitentiary and they've put everyone on lockdown, or just grinding your hips or going hoo 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 in shitty t-shirts that make no sense.
I don't know. I just feel like I said, I understand Usos not wanting to do the tribal thing, and that's fair enough. They can take the tribal thing off. I got that. But I felt like the Usos lost all the energy they once had to be entertained. Because you can be a heel and still have energy. They just feel so boring now.
Yeah, they've gone into serious, more like a gang territory than they've been.
I know, which came the blue fuck out of nowhere.
But it works.
Debatable.
It works more than the New Day's gimmick.
Of
let's just be an internet meme. And before you say it sells a lot of merchandise, that's the same response WWE used for Cena for years, and they're using for Roman Reigns right now.
Yeah, Roman's not selling as much, but that's true.
But they're still doing their excuse. If they said, and I quote, Roman Reigns is selling more merchandise than anyone. That includes New Day.
Pretty sure it doesn't include John Cena.
That's what they said. They said he's outselling John Cena at the moment.
I find that very hard to believe.
To be fair, John Cena's not on TV.
No, but
therefore, at live events, who's going to buy his shit if he's not there?
Kids like the one they showed on the program tonight.
Yeah, and during the matchup with Money in the Bank, you saw a couple of kids in Reigns shirts.
Yeah, okay.
Which that's kind of the point of, just because it sells merchandise doesn't always mean it's good. Plus, they're going to sell more merchandise than a heel. That's always been the way.
True, but the New Day are fun. That's the point. They're a fun team.
Are they?
Yes.
I think they're completely shit at this point.
Oh, agree to disagree. Moving on, we had the Women's Championship match, Naomi versus Lana, who I will say I was impressed by in her debut. She held her own, which granted is against Naomi, it's not the hardest thing to do, but she still looked very good in the ring. What did you think of Lana's debut?
It was okay until midway through the match when they did the Dusty stuff right to end it, and she's standing there for way too long, and it's
Yeah, it makes sense she'd come out and tease the briefcase, but it did take too long. You're right. It dragged on, and it felt like it didn't need to drag on that much.
It didn't even make sense to tease the briefcase the way she did it, because they normally wait till after the match when the champion's beat up. Doing this and, I'm going to make it a triple threat. Nah. Just wastes everyone's time and takes the focus off the match.
True.
Because if you're going to be a heel and you're going to tease the cashing in, it should be after the face is beat up, like they normally do, and then sometimes the face will start recovering. And it's like, oh, no. Or the face will then suddenly attack them and start getting the advantage. But wait, the bell didn't ring.
Right.
This just was like, what's going on?
Yeah. So Naomi retained the women's title because Lana was distracted by the presence of Carmella and Ellsworth at ringside.
Yep.
And after that, we had the WWE Championship match. Jinder Mahal defending against Randy Orton in his hometown of St. Louis, Missouri.
Yep.
With a bunch of legends at ringside.
Which the crowd was red hot for this match.
They were.
Ginger was actually getting some great responses this match.
He was.
Although there was some weird stuff with this.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, they made Randy Orton a fucking idiot. Randy Orton finally ended his feud with Table.
He did.
And apparently Ric Flair just stands there. And that's it. Where before now he's threatened to at least, even if he has retired before anyone mentions, oh yeah, he's retired. Since he's retired, he's threatened to beat people up and go woo and do figure fours to them and stuff. This one, he's like, my friend's been attacked. I will stand here and watch.
Yep. Well, in all fairness, that actually fits in because there's actually been some publicized interviews recently where Ric Flair said he thought Randy Orton should retire. So maybe there's some kind of backstory they're trying to build there.
Or it's just one of those cases of we're beating him up and it would make, and if he jumped in as well, there had been a reason for Randy Orton to defend them.
True.
But the ending of this match, it's the same as the last one.
Yeah.
Randy Orton gets distracted by beating them up, gets in the ring, gets hit with the finisher, which so far, until his next feud, it's the only finisher that when he does it, no one's kicked out.
That's true. The Colossus is a powerful finisher.
Until this next feud.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, not a terrible match.
No.
And it worked what it needed to do. It just had some dumb moments of, I'm going to stand here and watch.
Yep. So, Jinder Mahal retains the WWE Championship, so good for him.
Yep. We're going to have the Fashion Police first, the Ascension.
Yes, the Fashion Police earlier in the evening were back in their office in their Miami Vice cosplay, and they found a videotape of the people who trashed their office saying they wanted to meet them for a match, and it turned out to be the Ascension.
Yep. Which, this was just a filler match, and it worked to fill a gap, I suppose. Fashion Police won.
You give everybody time to calm down and take a piss break before the main event.
Yep. And Fashion Police won.
Fashion Police did win, yep. Good for them. And that main event was, of course, the Money in the Bank ladder match of Baron Corbin, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens.
Oh god, the beginning so stupid.
Yeah, everybody was coming out one by one, and when Nakamura was posing on the stage for his entrance, Baron Corbin beat the shit out of him.
Which, don't get me wrong, makes sense. That I can understand the heel wanting to do that. The part that always makes me laugh with these type of matches is he hit him like 4 times, grabbed the ladder, hit him with a ladder 3 times. And then the ref's like, oh my god, we must carry him to the back.
Yep.
It's a whole match where you're spending the entire match being smacked with ladders. Like, literally, like, Kevin Owens went through a hell of a lot worse than Nakamura did. And yet they didn't carry him to the back.
Yep.
But this match was good. We had the moment where Kevin Owens went flying straight into the ladder and it bent.
It did.
Which looked painful and cool.
Yeah.
It's not as good as the time where he died. If you remember when he just landed and was like head first in between the ring and just stayed there.
Well, yeah, because Sammy slammed him the back of his fucking neck out of the ring apron.
No, I said this didn't look as bad.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm saying when he because it was Sammy that slammed him on the apron, right? So I think it was Sammy.
Yeah, slammed him by throwing him down onto the ladder.
Went like this, like did like a suplex move, but he like the backstage just bam, dead. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, but I'm saying it wasn't as bad as when he fell face first and just stayed there in the ladder during the last multi-ladder match, and he just stayed, and you were even like, wait, is he injured? But after a while, we're like, he's clearly not injured, or they wouldn't just leave him there.
Right, yeah, he sold that more. Although he had a similar sell, like I said earlier in this match, when the back of his head hit that apron and he hit the floor, he was down too for quite a while until he got back in later.
He was. I wasn't insulting his selling. I was just saying that looked more painful because he was wedged in the ladder, like just dead.
Yes, that did look more painful. I agree. I was just noting that we did have a similar moment in this match. That wasn't just the other ladder spot that then, he got up a little bit more quickly.
Yep.
Kevin Owens did a lot of great spots in this match. He was
Like,
good.
one of my favorite spots in this match, ironically, was probably the AJ Dolph interactions.
You mean that one of the very few times where the thing that happens in every Money in the Bank match, in every ladder in the match in the video game, actually happened in real life?
No, I mean the thing that happened. It's never happened in the game or in real life happened before.
Which thing?
Not well when they pulled the ladder away. First of all, on the first one when they pulled the ladder away, they just dangled there. AJ actually climbed up it a bit, which you don't normally do,
That's
and started
true.
actually unhooking it. He used logic. Let's not insult it by saying it's just video game stuff,
Fair enough.
because that takes skill. Also, I loved he's gonna go for the phenomenal form. Dolph runs up the ladder, just trips him the fuck up. I'm like, that's cool.
That was good. That was a good counter.
Dolph had some good moments in this match. Like,
He did.
I loved on the outside. He's teaming with Baron Corbin. Like, yeah, good job, kid. Gets betrayed.
Yeah. I'm going to grab Corbin and hit him with the zigzag off the ladder.
I will also give props to the crowd member this match.
Which one?
The only crowd member you audibly heard properly, just one individual, when Kevin Owens had hold of Nakamura and the ladder as they were going into the ring.
I didn't actually hear him. What did he say?
It was a woman. That's why I kept saying she.
Not hear her.
But yeah, as he was holding on to the ladder, he goes to get him into the ring. Then as Owens on the apron, Nakamura's just getting into the ring. You hear one woman go, "Kick him in the face of America."
Ha! Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh god, that's so funny. Kick him in the face of America. It's so funny.
That is good. That is good. I missed that.
They teased Nakamura versus AJ.
They did.
Hopefully neither turn. Because I want to see
Yeah.
that match, but I want to see them with both faces.
Yeah, that's what it should be. And I like the fact they had that division. They both were like, no, we're going to do this. They both put the ladder aside and then they just started fighting. That was great.
Yep. I will say, this match may or may not have exposed Nakamura's weaknesses.
It may have. You're right.
Because A, he has to sit out most of the match because he couldn't stay in there for the whole thing, where you have to constantly communicate with everyone what you're going to be doing in a multi-man match. He couldn't do that. It's either because of limited skills or limited language.
Right.
The other thing is, once he got in there, everything he did, it was the same kicks. It was the same punches. That's a really limited moveset.
It was.
And thus, it wasn't that entertaining.
Yeah. I think the problem is, I've understood it from people I've talked to, I think the problem is that he has a much wider moveset that he's used in Japan, but a lot of it is moves that either aren't allowed in the WWE or that the WWE superstars just aren't trained to work with it. It would take time for them to learn how to handle his moves. And that, Mr. King of Strong Style. So I think it's just a bit of an issue of the main roster guys, at least, because I know NXT was doing okay. I think the main roster guys just aren't able to handle his moveset, at least not right away. They need time to warm up to it.
I'm going to make the case that's no excuse.
Okay.
That same thing happened with AJ Styles. On the independent circuit, he went into one where he couldn't use the Styles Clash because it started to hurt people's necks and various other stuff. So he tweaked it into a better move. And then suddenly it was safer, so he could use it again. They took away some of his moves, and yet he still managed to do it well. He just adapted better. He comes to WWE, and now if you look at how he's doing his moves in WWE, it's different to how he did them in TNA. He took them, and he adapted them and changed them to WWE style.
True, but not everybody's as good as AJ Styles, unfortunately.
Yes, but everyone's claiming Nakamura is. That's my point of even if you argue that he had more movesets in insert place, they say the same thing about Reigns on NXT, and they said the same thing about Cena when he was the prototype in training.
That is also true.
But we still criticize him.
Yeah, I just feel like it's a situation where Nakamura, spent his entire career in Japan, and it's one of those things where I think he just got stuck at a certain thing and just having to change it after 20 or 30 years of being there. I can understand why that might be a little difficult for him.
It might be, but it's still one of those things where it's still a weakness, and it's still
It is. You're right.
it was still exposed in this match a bit, unfortunately, and
Yeah.
hopefully they find a way around it.
Hopefully.
Like I argue, Nakamura, people may disagree with this, but he needs a mouthpiece.
Yes, definitely.
His promos aren't good.
Although the interesting thing about that is from what I did last night, we were talking about the pay-per-view after a show on the other channel, and Marcus Shadow mentioned that apparently Nakamura can actually talk. WWE's just not letting him. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I've heard.
Convenient when that's how he talks in interviews too. Because if you notice, he's slowing down. He can't do WWE's fast-paced promos.
I don't know what I've been told. I haven't seen the guy what he used to do in other promotions or outside back in NXT or anything, so I don't really know.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's not that good at promos. That's how he does his promos. He's slowing down to try and talk, which works for some people. Like arguably, it worked for Nash because Nash likes to think and then do it, and it's like a slow, cool delivery. When Nakamura tries to make it slow with his accent and with with his weird gimmick he's got with the art, it just looks like crap. Nakamura fanboys will defend anything and blame it on absolutely anything. Like everyone will blame it on the internet or blame it on Vince McMahon, the internet boogeyman, or WWE. But who gives a shit at this point?
Fair enough. Well, at any rate, after a big back and forth by Nakamura and AJ Styles on the top of the ladder, Baron Corbin was able to throw them off the ladder and claim the Money in the Bank briefcase and become the, as everybody likes to say, become Mr. Money in the Bank.
Yep.
So, congrats to Baron Corbin. When we were again on the show,
first ever Money in the Bank and Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
That's true. He's the first man to win both.
But yeah, Money in the Bank. Overall, not a terrible pay-per-view. The beginning part, though, was too many dusty finishes, one after the other.
It was, yeah. They needed some more legitimate wins, finishes in this pay-per-view, definitely.
Now, one of them made sense, which was the tag one, but I'm gonna give it a middle thing for me for this pay-per-view. It had good, but it had some bad, so I'm gonna give it in the middle.
Okay, that's fair. I can agree with that. Yeah, I agree. It was an entertaining pay-per-view, but it definitely had some problems. So if I was going to rate this pay-per-view, I'd probably throw it like, I don't know, 75. It was a decent pay-per-view. There were some good matches. Jinder and Orton had a good match. The Money in the Bank matches were both entertaining, despite the finish of the women's one. They were both fun to watch. And nothing was overly terrible. It was just some bad finishes. But it was overall a decent pay-per-view, and I'd say give it a watch, but not the strongest, especially for a SmackDown pay-per-view, and not the strongest that they've done. So hopefully going forward into SummerSlam, we can pick it up for both brands. We'll see how Raw pulls through Great Balls of Fire.
Yep, and finally, Great Balls of Fire is using the theme song.
They are.
And I like that promo they showed on Money in the Bank for Great Balls of Fire, where it's like the old drive-through.
Yeah, they have the Samoa Joe's Diner and Roman Reigns is the logo on the car and all that. That was cool stuff.
The Destroyer versus the Beast.
Yes.
But peace.
Yep, this has been Money in the Bank. We'll see you next time, everybody. Peace.